Evelyn to Philip, August 11th, 1944. My sweet, I didn't write last night simply cause I was in a rather depressed mood and thought it better to skip that day. Besides, I hadn't had mail from you for some 3 days, but this morning I received your very long typewritten letter of August 6th and enjoyed it immensely. Before I start, I want to talk about the enclosed snaps which Petey gave me last night. The two of Adele in sunsuit and brown shoes were made first, those in her yellow ruffled pinafore a few days later, and those two with Petey and Michael, the little boy down the corner, last week. The last two illustrate what went on here on that scorching day I spoke of last week. In the background of those two with Petey is the swim pool I told you about, and in one picture you can see a little boy and his sister. Those two kids are Joel and Debbie, of whom Adele is very fond. She rides Debbie's bicycle frequently and plays with her dolls and doll carriage. I hope the fact that Petey is holding her won't work any hardship on the green-eyed monster, if you know what I mean. I'm not particularly fond of any of the snaps, excepting the one where she is ensconced in the beach chair and the one where she is standing in the driveway holding her pinafore with both hands while she smiles her very cute smile. I think you will note that her legs appear straighter in these. She has a lot of weight in her legs, which reminds me, honey, I did make an appointment with Dr. Lefko for August 18th to have her feet and legs examined. He charges $5 per visit, which isn't too bad because I was informed he charged $10. I called the Red Cross first, but they weren't of any help at all. Page 2. I hope you feel better now that I've made this step. I do. At least we'll know something definite one way or the other. I'll visit the dentist when it's cooler. I think every 6 months is sufficient. I'm glad you had an opportunity to relax, sweet. And incidentally, you did not enclose the program you mentioned. I thought the Errol Flynn joke cute, too. I'm sorry if I gave you the impression that I do not have faith in you where it concerns my becoming pregnant again. I just want you to keep reassuring me, especially once we're together. Thanks so much, baby, for the reassurance. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your understanding in this matter. I trust you in everything. It's just me. I wish very much that you could see Adele take her own food. I can't tell you how much. I shall send off the Pyrex bottles as you suggest, if it will make you happy. We also had mail from Ed as of July 25th, but we haven't had any since. I can't help worrying about the kid, much as I try not to. It keeps creeping into my head, and I find myself thinking about him more than is good for me. After all, France is no picnic ground, and after hearing some of the stories Betty's brother has to tell, well, Phil, it's plain evident that he's been through hell. He came home today on a 3-day pass. He's a good-looking fellow, on the small side. He's still in a daze. Can't believe that he's home and that the worst is over. He said that one of the fellows died on the train on the way home from a heart attack, which developed from too much excitement about returning home. He wasn't sick at all. Imagine! You mention at the end of your letter that you are putting on weight, to which I can say, no, 1,000 times no. Phil, I don't mind anything you, page 3, do. But I dislike intensely when you write that you are gaining weight. I prefer you on the thinner side and always did, if you don't mind. Besides, if you're stout when you get home and then lose a lot of weight, You will be sans clothes. Try to keep your weight down, won't you please, sweet? Don't worry, honey. I don't make issues of anything, much less Mom's coming home at Harry's request. I have on very few occasions, much to my dislike, but they weren't that serious. Someday we'll talk about everything. Someday when we can do something about it. Thanks so much for sitting up so late to type the letter, my dearest, for I know what it is for you to miss your sleep. It is very warm again today, and consequently, I'm rather tired. I'm going to Miss Hahn's tomorrow morning to help her out of her present dilemma. I don't intend to be there more than 4 hours. She also has a bit of work for me to do at home. Yesterday morning and this morning, I managed to wash all the floors and get most of the housework finished so that I could give her this Saturday. We can't get another girl, so we're making the best of the situation. I've even managed to knit a little on that white sweater I started for Adele in the spring. I have the back finished and I'm up to the armholes on the front. I think I'm going to make a sailor collar on the sweater and trim it up with dark blue wool. I wrote to Ed yesterday. I brought Diana Jean a nice rattle that we have at our place today. Page 4. Mom, as I told you, is going to Cookie's wedding tomorrow night. I'm going to set her hair as soon as I'm finished typing this so that she'll look pretty. Mickey Wyman is going to Maine and not Canada for her vacation. I know because she called and asked to borrow my suitcase. Naturally, I'm lending it to her. I hope that you're right and the Ouija board wrong, for I don't think I could curb my impatience way into 45. I love you so much, my angel, and right now I'm very sleepily your Ev. Philip to Evelyn, 11 August 1944. Sweetheart, last night I went into town on the Officers' Liberty Run. Oxborough, one of our gang, was driving and asked me to go along and keep him company. I had seen the picture playing at the Thunderbolt and was in the mood for a movie, so I decided to go along. We saw The Way Ahead, a British-made film starring David Niven, which was as good or better than some of our better American productions. It was over 2 hours long, yet it did not drag at any time. It was a very human, very exciting, and inspiring story of a group of Englishmen conscripted into the British Army, their training, adventures, travels, and eventual destiny. It was a most enthralling film, and I urge you to see it if ever you get the opportunity, Chippy. That, incidentally, is why I didn't write last night again. I'm hoping, sweet, that you hold no brief with me for it. I'm still pretty busy in the orderly room, but Sergeant Danner has helped considerably and everything is under control. You might be interested to hear that the company has, to date, subscribed 73% of its war bond quota. I'm ashamed to say, though, that that figure is the lowest of any on the station. I expect we will fill our quota okay next payday, but I don't think we'll attain anywhere near the figure some of the other units are rolling up. The leading outfit is an MP company with a total of 235%, and that's going some. Hope that money order I asked for gets here in time to boost our own average a little. You must know by now, sweet, that one of your oft-expressed wishes has come true. Jack N. is in love, and how. I received his letter advising me of the fact yesterday. It is a thing of lyrical beauty. He really exceeds himself in his descriptions of his emotions and feelings. If he isn't in love, he certainly gives a damn good imitation of it. I haven't answered him yet because I was busy all day on the payroll, but I will at the first opportunity. Your V-mail of the 27th July arrived by the same post. It answered some of the questions that I had put in previous letters and advised me that Eddie had seen action and had come through okay. Thank God for that. I'm still waiting to hear from him. If nothing comes through within the next couple of days, I'll try to find the time to write to him again. Can't understand why I don't hear from Harry W. either. Today brought me 2 more of your precious letters, Precious, but they were pretty old ones. They are dated 14 and 16 July. I can't understand it because I received one dated 30 July, day before yesterday. So, I know what's happening back home all right, but I don't know which events follow who or what. They are both newsy letters, and I enjoyed reading them, especially that part about Petey taking Adele's picture in her yellow pinafore that you seem to think so much of. Your revelation that yesterday, July 15th, was Mom's birthday was a great surprise to me. Page 2, because I distinctly remember that Mom herself had no idea when her birthday is. At least I could never worm it out of her. However, if that's her story, I'll abide by it and conduct myself accordingly in the future. It certainly was good of Betty to give you those window shades. Tell her thanks for me, too. By the way, darling, thanks for letting me know Gloria's birthday, too. I think I'll have time to drop her a few lines of congratulation, and I intend to. She has been most considerate and kind to me, and I'd hate to have her think I forgot her birthday. Baby, the weather these past few days has been absolutely beautiful, and don't let anybody tell you that England is a land of rain and fog. It isn't. No more so than Philly, anyhow, and we have still to be inconvenienced by the heat. The only difference that I can see between the 2 climates outside of that is that the weather changes more abruptly and more frequently over here. In the winter, it doesn't get quite as cold either, although I'll admit that it is a damp and disagreeable cold, but enough for the vagaries of the English weather. After a full day working on the payroll, I took in the first show at the theater with Klein. The picture was an oldie that I thought I had seen but hadn't. It was lovely to look at, with Sonia Henney, Tyrone Power, Joan Davis, and lesser lights. Sonia's skating, if you remember, sweet, has always been my idea of wonderful entertainment. After seeing this, I can only say that I still, who's a copycat, feel that way. Tyrone Power is just a little too pretty boyish to suit my stomach, but gives a capable performance nevertheless. Joan Davis is very good in a few novelty numbers. After the show, we stopped at the snack bar for sandwiches and cokes and cakes. Then I hied myself to the orderly room where I commenced this. And now I am just about ready to go to bed. So I'll leave you for the nonce, my dearest darling, with a fond hasta mañana, a bit of the old Cheerio, and a good old American-style hug and kiss. The same from my precious pumpkin. My love to all. Just call me your lover, Phil.